Hi, thanks for joining me again. In this video we're going to look at the passive voice, and I'm going to show you my little joining paragraph that links the first half of the story to the second half of the story and talk you through how I've done that to try and help you with yours. But first off, have a go at these last two grammar fails of the week. And here are your grammar fail pictures. I'm not going to read them to you because I don't want to influence you. Pause the video, have a think, and then come back for the answers. So in the first one, it's supposed to say quiet please, exams in progress, but they've spelt it wrong. It says quite please, exams in progress. And in the one on the right, hopefully you've spotted that there shouldn't be an apostrophe in hat because it's plural. Hope you've enjoyed our grammar fail pictures this week. Right, we're going to have a look at the passive voice, and then you're going to do a short piece of writing, not as much as in the previous lessons. So, the passive voice. I'm going to put two examples up and then I'm going to explain why one's active and one's passive. So here's a sentence. The boy discovered the treasure. In this sentence, this is an active sentence. The boy is the subject, the thing that's doing the person doing the action, or who the verb's about. Here is my verb. The boy discovered treasure. Treasure is my object because it's being affected by the verb. It's the thing that is being discovered, the treasure. Okay, put a full stop there. When I make this into a passive sentence, it becomes the treasure was discovered by the boy. Okay, now here in our previous sentence, this was the object. This has become the subject here. It's the thing that the verb is about. This is our passive, and this bit at the end, by the boy, we call that the agent, the person who is doing the action. Okay, now what we can do as well is we can leave out the by the boy and the prepositional phrase that and the sentence still makes sense. The treasure was discovered. Let's have a look at another example. The child scattered rice all over the floor. So we've got the child is the subject, scattered is the verb, and rice is our object. So in my next sentence, the rice is going to start as my subject. So rice was scattered all over the floor, I'm going to be speedy, by the boy. Okay, I've just left out all over the floor out to speed me up a little bit. By the boy could be taken out. Rice was scattered everywhere. Rice has become our subject. It's the thing being affected by the verb, because the rice that was scattered. Here is our passive. And then this is our agent. Okay, if you choose to leave the agent out, so you don't put this in, by the boy, as long as I'm going to write everywhere to make the sentence make sense. This would be called an agentless passive. So it's a passive sentence where we don't tell the reader who is doing the action. Okay, it's really useful if we don't know. So in things like newspaper reports, we can talk about how the car was stolen. We don't know who stole it. Let's have a look at another sentence, and then I'm going to give you some to have a go at. So, the rumbling shook the ground. The rumbling here is our subject because it's the thing that is making the action happen. Shook is our verb, and the ground is the object, it's the thing being affected by the verb. We're going to flip it. We're going to put the ground at the beginning. The ground was shaken by the rumbling. So like an earthquake or something. So here the ground is my subject. Thing being affected by the verb was shaken is our passive. And this bit here, by the rumbling, this is our agent. Okay? Here are some sentences. Can you spot which ones are active, like this, and which ones are passive, like this? So have a think whether you think these sentences are active or passive. Number 1, the car raced down the empty street at high speed. Number 2, the vase was broken by my little sister. Number 3, they were grounded for 2 whole weeks. Number 4, we took the shortcut through the woods. Number 5, the building was demolished years ago. And number 6, the plate slipped off the draining board and smashed on the floor. Now would be a good time for you to pause this and have a think. You don't need to copy them down. You can just write A or P for active and passive. And once you're done, hit play for the answers. Okay, so sentence number 1 is an active sentence. There's no auxiliary verb to be before the raced. Number 2 is a passive, was broken by in the middle, so you've got part of the verb to be, a past participle, and then you've got your prepositional phrase as in who did it, by my sister. Number 3 is a passive voice as well. Even though there's no by in there, you could put it in. They were grounded for 2 whole weeks by my parents would make sense, so therefore it's a passive sentence. Number 4 is an active sentence. We took the shortcut through the woods. If it was passive, it would say something like the shortcut was taken, and that would be a bit clumsy. Number 5, the building was demolished years ago is a passive voice, was demolished. If it was active, it would say something like they demolished the building. Number 6, the plate slipped off the draining board and smashed on the floor is an active sentence. So when we think about using the passive voice, what we're actually doing is we're using the verb to be, and we're using a past participle. Now, past participle is usually the ed part of a verb. Walked, talked. Lots of them in English are irregular though, like broken, bitten, etc. So we use part of the verb to be, and this gives the sentence a tense. It tells us when the sentence is happening. So in the present tense, this verb goes, I am, you are, he, she, it, William is, we are, you are. There's 2 forms of you. One is you where there's one person, and one is you where you're talking to everybody. And then we have they are. Okay. We've also got the past tense we could use. So in the past tense it would be I was, you were, he, she, it, William was, we were, you, plural, all of you, were, and they were. And then we could use something called the past perfect tense, which is an action that happened before something else. So I had been, you had been, all the way down. Okay. And this, you can use phrases like this. There are other tenses you can use the verb to be in, but I'm just going to give you 3 just so you start to get this accurately. Let's have a look at 3 sentences that are in different phrases, different times, different tenses, sorry, but are all part of the passive. So, our football match is cancelled. So football match is the subject, is cancelled is the verb, so the passive, right? We could put it into the past tense. Our football match was cancelled. Again, same thing, but we've just got the was instead, it's knocking it back. Is now, was has already happened. Our football match will be cancelled by the coach because it's going to rain. So we've got again a subject, our verb, and here's our past participle I was talking about earlier when we need them together. Okay, so we've got our part of the verb to be and we've got our past participle. Okay, have a go at converting these sentences from the active into the passive. And here are some sentences for you to convert to the passive voice. So number 1, Joshua played the flute. 2, my parents set off fireworks when it was dark. Number 3, Kate shared the sweets with the children. Number 4, Sam opened the door to the basement. So think about where the subject, verb and object is in this original sentence, and then make the object the subject of your new sentence. So now would be a good time for you to pause this video and write down your answers, and then when you're done, hit play so we can go over some answers. Okay, so in number 1, Joshua played the flute. The object in this sentence is flute, so flute becomes a subject in our passive. The flute was played by Joshua. Number 2, my parents set off fireworks when it was dark. Fireworks is the object, so fireworks becomes the subject. The fireworks were set off by my parents when it was dark. Number 3, Kate shared the sweets with the children. So the sweets are the things that are being directly affected by the verb. They are our object. So the sweets become our subject. The sweets were shared with the children by Kate. Number 4, Sam opened the door to the basement. The door is the thing being affected by the verb, so that's our object, so that now becomes our subject, so it starts with the door to the basement was opened by Sam. There is a help sheet for this in your home learning pack, or available on the school website, or in the description at the bottom of the video. You can find out where you can get a copy of that to help you get a couple of these examples into your own work. Now I'm going to show you the joining paragraph that I wrote to link the first part of my story to the second part of the story, where Celeste realises he can't go home because it's too late. Here you go. And this is the short piece that I've put in to my story to conclude the first half and to link into the second half. It was too late. Night had already come. He'd been having such an incredible day with Kitty that he'd lost track of time. Now he had no choice but to stay and return in the morning. Well, what harm could one night do, he thought to himself. His tent was put up by Kitty and her dad in no time at all. Inside, the temperature was cosy as the air was heated by the rolling magma below them, and Celeste lay down in his sleeping bag. He sighed a contented sigh as he closed his eyes and dreamed of the day. Just before he fell asleep, he thought of the almost unnoticeable twitch of the needle. I've used, in this part, the passive voice twice. His tent was put up by Kitty. If it were active, it would say Kitty and her dad put up the tent, and the air was heated by the rolling magma. If it were active, it would say the rolling magma heated the air. Okay, so this is a nice short chunk just to lead us into the next part of the story, and at the end of mine I've put a little teaser as to what might happen next. So I hope that was helpful. Do try to include the passive, just a couple of examples in that paragraph, or you might think I can get one into a previous paragraph, go back and edit, that's fine. And if you've really struggled with the passive, don't worry about it, we'll come back to it. Have a go at writing that paragraph of the story, and I will see you next time for our next lesson.